Hey guys, so today we're looking at one of the diminished scales. There's a few different diminished scales. Today we're going to look at one of them. Specifically, we're going to look at the half-whole diminished scale. And it's so easy to remember and to work out. The clue's in the title. All you do is you move up a half step and then a whole step, and that's it. And it's from one octave to the next. Really easy. I'm going to show you how you do it, and let's do it on C. So it's going to be a C half-whole diminished scale. Let's write that out. Okay, so because we're doing a C half-whole diminished scale, we start off with C, and then clues in the title, we're then going to move up half a tone or a semitone. So if you move up half a tone, you're going to be on C sharp. Then you're going to want to move up a whole tone, so then we're going to be on D sharp. Then it just continues the same pattern. Half a tone will be on E. A whole tone will be on F sharp. Half a tone, G. Whole tone, A. Another half a tone, A sharp. Another whole tone, and we're back to C. And that's how you would work it out. It's really just that easy, and you can work it out for any scale. It's just using this one particular pattern of half whole, half whole, half whole, half whole, and that's it. Now there's other diminished scales, but we'll go into them later. But right now I'm going to show you how you would play this scale on the guitar, and then how you would apply it to different soloing sort of methods. Okay, here we go. So how I play this scale a little bit differently than other people. Rather than using a 3-note per string method, I really like 4-note per strings for this particular scale. So how you would play it is that we're doing a C half-whole diminished scale. So we're going to start on the 8th fret of the low E string, okay, with our first finger. Then the next note is C sharp. So that's the half a step. So right next to it with your second finger, you're going to play the 9th fret. Then you're going to play a whole step away, or a tone, with your pinky, so pinky on the 11th fret. And then you need a half step. So rather than chop down a string and sort of stretch over this way, since we're already right next to the E note, we're just going to use our pinky to slide up. So a pinky, so this is, again, first finger, second, pinky on the 11th, and then pinky on the 12th. And then from there we're going to use the same finger pattern, 1, 2, pinky, on the next string down. So on the next string down, first finger on the 9th fret, second finger on the 10th fret, pinky on the 12th fret, then pinky slide up 1 fret on the 13th fret of the A string. And then first finger drops down, same pattern again, first finger 10th fret of the D string, and that's actually our first octave. And don't worry, all the tabs below. And now, so continuing from the last note of the first octave, the C note, which is the 10th on the D string, we're going to continue from there using the same pattern, really easy. So first finger 10th fret D string, second finger 11th fret of the D string, pinky 13th fret of the D string, then stretch that pinky or slide that pinky over to the 14th fret of the D string, drop down a string, first finger on the 11th fret of the G string, second finger on the 12th fret of the G string, pinky on the 14th fret of the G string, stretch the pinky over to the 15th fret of the G string, and then second finger down a string onto the 13th fret of the B string. And that's our C note. So once again, and backwards. Okay, so what I've done here is I've written out the scale degrees of how you could sort of think of it. But see, it's pretty confusing because you've got a flattened third, but you've got a sharpened note. So this is just how it sort of works in my head, but there's other sort of ways to think about it. You could also think about it that the C sharp, although it's the C sharp, although it's the flattened second, you could think of it as a sharp 1. You know, there's different sort of ways to talk about it. And hopefully this will make sense. I'm going to draw out the C major scale and then the degrees at the top, okay? Okay, so I've written out a C major scale up here, yeah? C to C. Now if you put down the scale degrees underneath, okay, so you've got from 1 all the way up to 8, yeah? So if we have a look, this is what these numbers sort of make sense. This is how I sort of think about it, is if you've got a C sharp here, it's not a second, because the D is the second, but you have somewhere in between. So you've either got a sharpened 1, the C sharp, or a flattened 2, so the C sharp. So you could think of it as C and then D flat, or you could think of it as C and then C sharp. Some people's minds work better with sharps, some people's mind works better with flats. It really doesn't matter, but hopefully now you sort of see. So if you've got like, you know, you've got D sharp here, well, if D's the second, you know, it's either a sharp 2 or a flattened 3. So I've chosen to write a flattened 3, but hopefully that is sort of starting to make sense. Now if we just sort of have a look at what chords we can make, if we take it right down to the very basic, yeah, and we build a triad, a 1, 3, 5 triad, okay? Well, in this C half diminished scale, you've got the 1, you've got the 3, you've got the 5. So you could think of it as, you could easily play a C major triad, that would be fine. But, having said that, you also have the 1, the flat 3, and the 5, so it could be a C minor triad. Or you've got the 1, the flat 3, and the flat 5. So you could think of it as a diminished triad. So any of those triads are going to work, it's just going to be a different sound, whether it's appealing to you or not. So the example I'm going to play for you is we're going to use the 7th. So it's a flattened 7th. So what I'm going to use, so how we're sort of looking at it and what chord I've chosen to show you to hear the scale over is C dominant 7, or you know, it could just be called C7. It's exactly the same thing. Could be C7, C dominant 7, C dom 7, all means the same thing, okay? So out of that C half whole diminished scale, you've got the 1, 3, 5, and flat 7th. And now I'll play it. Okay, so I'm going to play a C dominant 7th bar chord, yeah? And I'm just going to loop it so you can just hear that, then I'm going to play the scale over so you can hear what it sounds.